Hi friends, welcome to Sri Sai online training. So today in this video of Angular with TypeScript, we are going to discuss the following topics. So the topics what we are going to discuss in Angular web framework will be environment setup for Angular, second project setup for Angular, 3 how to create a first Angular application. So these are the three topics what we are going to discuss today in Angular web framework. Right. So first of all, let us start with a small recap of the last video. Okay. So we'll have a small revision. So what is Angular? So Angular is a TypeScript framework for developing dynamic web application. And what is Angular.js? Angular.js is a JavaScript framework for developing dynamic web application. So Angular.js was invented in the year 2009, and in 2012 it was undertaken by Google Corporation or Google Company, whereas TypeScript was invented in the year 2016, and Angular TypeScript was invented in 2016, and it is completely rewritten in TypeScript. So it is completely rewritten in TypeScript. So it is a TypeScript web framework for developing dynamic web application. So Google team has developed both AngularJS and Angular TypeScript. So now coming to the Angular versions. Okay, so we have seen all the different Angular versions in the last video itself. Okay, so Angular versions started from 2, 3, 4, so on. Okay, so Angular versions started from 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. Right. So why Angular when compared to Angular.js? Okay, so technically Angular.js is version 1. So actually it is not a version 1, it is a phase 1 of Angular using JavaScript, and Angular TypeScript is a phase 2 of developing dynamic web application. So why Angular when compared to Angular.js? Okay, so we'll understand some 5 reasons for that. First one, Angular TypeScript is 5 times faster when compared to Angular.js. Next, in Angular TypeScript, we have modular programming. So modular programming means we can maintain the code easily and we can update the code easily for future references. Right. Third one, Angular platform. So Angular is a application platform. So application platform means we can integrate other technologies in Angular. Okay, so I'll write here, we can integrate other UI technologies in Angular. Example, like we can integrate Bootstrap, we can integrate React, JS, etc. So it is an application platform for developing dynamic web applications. Next, in Angular, we have different scripting language options. So we can develop Angular using TypeScript. So Angular is developed itself in TypeScript by Google. So TypeScript is more preferable. We can also develop Angular applications using pure script. We can also develop Angular using Dart. We can also develop Angular using ELM. So these are different scripting languages, same like TypeScript. And Angular applications are unit testable. So unit testable means the testing which is done by developers, okay, is known as unit testing. So these are the 5 major reasons why we prefer Angular when compared to Angular.js. So we have different versions of Angular which started from 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 is not there because there was some problem in the mismatch of the routing module version. So that is the reason why 3 was skipped and directly we got it as 4. Okay, so etc. and so on. Right, so these are different versions of Angular and why Angular when compared to Angular.js. Right, now we'll try to understand how to set up environment and project. How to set up environment for Angular applications. So the 4 major software requirements are: first one, Node.js. So we have already installed Node.js while discussing the TypeScript. You can refer that in the TypeScript videos. Npm stands for Node Package Manager. It provides open source JavaScript libraries for developing web applications, and it is installed automatically with Node.js. 3, we have to install Angular-CLI. So we have to install this latest from online installation. We'll see this now. And next we have to install Visual Studio Code. So we can use different types of IDE, integrated development environment. Like we have for Java, we use Eclipse, NetBeans. For Microsoft applications, Visual Studio Code is used. So similarly, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, which is best for education and training. Okay. So in all these 4 requirements, okay, Node.js, it is already done in TypeScript. Npm is automatically installed with Node. So we have to do it. Okay. So we have to do it. Angular CLI and Visual Studio Code is also installed. Right. So now first we'll install Visual Studio Code and open it. So for this we have to go to this website www.https://code.visualstudio.com. It is the integrated development environment. We can use other IDEs like WebStorm, we can use Atom, we can use Sublime, etc. So why we have to prefer this Visual Studio Code? So this IDE, not only Visual Studio Code, any IDE provides very flexible form of application development. Means we can create Angular projects, compile or build the Angular projects, run the Angular projects, and verify the output from the project at the same place. So that is what we call it as integrated development environment, which means designing, developing, next running, next debugging, next testing, next verifying. Everything of application means especially our web application can be done in a same place. So that is what is the advantage of integrated development environment. So this development environment we have already installed in our system. So open Visual Studio Code in your system. So this is the Visual Studio Code which is already available in our system. Right. So we can just remove the welcome screen from here. Right. So next what we'll do is we'll open the terminal and we'll go to our working directory. So just click on the terminal in the Visual Studio Code and say new terminal. So terminal is already open here. Then we'll go to the working directory. So our working directory will be g:\Angular online Right, so under this we are going to create one directory, md make directory Angular. So we are going to save all our Angular projects under this directory. So change directory to Angular. So G colon Angular online Angular. So this will be our working directory. Right. So terminal is nothing but command prompt, or you can also call it as simply prompt, or you can also call it as something like shell, etc. In Linux we call it as shell. So terminal, shell, command prompt, all these are different alternative words. Next we have to install Node.js. So Node.js, we have to go to this website, https nodejs.org English download, and based on your operating system we have to download this in our system. So whenever you install something in your system, it will be installed in C:\program files. Under that you will be having Node.js folder. So even Node.js is also installed when we are discussing with the TypeScript. So how to verify Node.js in your system? So for that we have to use the command node-v. So we'll use this in the Visual Studio Code, node-v. So the latest version is installed in my system, which is 12.16.3. Right. So next, after installing the node and verifying the node, we have to check for npm installation. So npm stands for node package manager. Node package manager. So what is this node package manager? So node package manager allows us to install open source JavaScript libraries or packages into Angular application using node development environment. Okay, so here we have to understand one important node point related to the Node.js. So why Node.js is required for our Angular application? So Node provides runtime environment for our Angular applications. So basically Angular applications, we write it in TypeScript. So but TypeScript is not understood by the browser. So browser understands only JavaScript. So TypeScript is converted into JavaScript, and then response is sent back as a web page to the client. So this conversion process, for that we require one environment, and that environment is provided by Node. And that is the reason why we use Node in our Angular application development. So along with this Node, npm is also installed, and from npm we can use open source JavaScript libraries in our Angular application. Right, so Node is also automatically installed along with Node.js, npm along with Node.js. How to verify? npm-v. So come to the Visual Studio Code and say npm-v. So here, this is the latest version of the npm 6.14.4. okay, right. So after npm, so Visual Studio Code is installed, okay, Node is also installed, npm is also installed, and finally we'll install Angular command line interface. So what is this Angular command line interface? So using Angular command line interface, we are going to create our Angular applications in our system. So it allows us to maintain the project files and folders in our system. Right. So how to install this? For this we use the command npm node package manager. Okay. So I'm going to install Angular from node package manager, which is a repository in our system. So npm install -g. So -g indicates global installation, which means that any person, any user in your system can use the Angular application development or Angular-CLI. So it means that guest user, admin user, or any other user of your system can use the Angular application development. So npm install -g followed by @Angular-CLI. So we'll try to run this command. in our terminal of Visual Studio Code. Now this is an online installation. For this compulsory we require an internet connection. So all the Angular related files and folders will be installed in your system and integrated with Node. So for this we require integration, internet connection, because it is an online installation. Okay, so I'll write a note point here. For this Angular installation, we require internet connection because it is installed from internet node repository. Okay, node repository. Okay, and such installation is integrated with node runtime environment. Right, so this is what is all about our installation. Right, so installation is also done for us. Okay, so installation is done for us. Right, so once the installation is done, now we'll try to verify whether Angular is installed properly in our system or not. So for that I'm going to use one command, ngv. V stands for version. Okay, so ngv, V stands for version. So just we have to use this command in the command prompt. I'll say cls, clear the screen, ngv, V stands for version. So we have to get this options. So in this options, okay, so it will show us different options here. Okay, so what exactly is this installation all about? So we should get this option Angular-CLI like this. So followed by Angular-CLI version, node version, OS, okay, and then followed by what are the different packages and its versions which are installed using this Angular-CLI. So this is how we have to get all the required options. So it means that Angular is successfully installed in our system. So we can say cls, clear the screen. So the command is node v. Okay, so sorry, it's not node v, it is ngv. So ng stands for Angular. We should get that options. So here one small point, technical point, ng means technically Angular. So Angular short form, we can also call it as something like ng. So these are the different software requirements for Angular: Visual Studio Code IDE, NodeJS. Okay, so NodeJS provides runtime environment for our Angular applications, Npm, which provides a repository. So this is, it provides online repository for our Angular applications. Repository means library for our Angular applications, and then followed by Angular-CLI. So Angular-CLI allows us to create Angular applications. So these are 4 software requirements for our Angular web application development. Now what we'll do is we'll try to create a sample project. Okay, so how to create the first sample application in Angular? So for that we have to use the command ng followed by new project name. Okay, so ng new followed by the project name. So we'll take the project name as something like first app. Okay, ng new Angular new project first app. So I'll write it here, ng new first, okay, first app. So generally our application name, if it contains multiple words without any spaces, give every word first letter as capital. So F capital, A capital. So it is a standard. It is not compulsory. Right. So now this application, first app, will be created in our Angular folder, and this is an online installation, and it creates all the required libraries from the npm node package manager. So it is asking us, would you like to add Angular routing package? Yes. So routing package is mainly used for single page application. We'll discuss that later. So simply say yes, because Angular is mainly because of single page application. Next, it is asking us which CSS standard or format you want to use. So use the up arrow and down arrow and select CSS, SCSS, SASS, LESS, stylus. So I'm going to use standard CSS. Select that using up arrow and down arrow and click on enter. So our application will be installed through online internet connection. So it will take some time for us. Okay. So I'll write here, it will create a project folder. The project folder is first app in our working directory. So such project creation is done as online installation. So we require an internet connection for this, since it is an online installation with required libraries. So that's why we require an internet connection. Okay. Right. So the installation is getting done, installing all different types of packages. It will take some time depending on the speed of our internet connection. So instead it is installing all the packages. Still installing the packages. So packages means here nothing but our modules or namespaces. Okay. So one technical point here. Packages in Angular means our modules, or technically they are namespaces. Namespaces in TypeScript. Okay. Okay, so we can develop Angular applications using different scripting languages. So that's why the libraries are called as packages. Whereas in TypeScript, they are called as modules or namespaces. Right, so still it is installing the packages. So let us wait for some time so that the total package installation is done for us. So it's taking some time depending upon the speed of your internet connection. So these are the different folders which are getting created for our Angular application. So if you can see here, these are the different folders. Okay. So first step will be created in our Angular folder under Angular Online G colon, and under this we are going to get all different files. So what are all these different files? We are going to understand that in the next videos and sessions. So if you can see here, index.html, which is a starting point of our web application, web page development. Okay, so main.ts, it's a TypeScript file which indicates it is a starting point for our Angular application development, like main function. So styles.ts, CSS, where we can use different CSS global styles for different web pages. Test.ts, which is used for unit testing. Okay, and if you can see here, routing module is also getting installed. Okay, so routing module allows us to make single page application development. We'll see that in that particular chapter. And then if you can see here, this is our root module. Okay, so in our root module is nothing but something like a home page which decides the home page of our application development. Under this, we are going to have 4 different files. If you can see here, these are the 4 different important files. HTML files, next component.html file, next component.specs.ts, next component.ts, which is used for our classes with variables and methods, and then component.cs. Here we configure the CSS styles for our root page or the home page. So it is taking some time. Okay, so let us wait so that the installation is done completely. So let the installation get done. Right, so if you can see here, so all packages are installed successfully. Okay, so we are getting one small warning here. JIT is not recognized as internal or external command, so that is not required for us. You can ignore this. So this is how our first application is created successfully. Right, so now what we are going to do is, so once the application is installed, okay, so our application name or our project name is first app. So change the directory to first app, cd first app. So one project folder will be created for us. So simply say dir. If you say dir, you'll get the directory structure. You can also check this from the Windows also. So from Windows also, you can go to Windows Explorer. Under Windows Explorer, you can go to G colon. So under G colon, you can go to Angular Online. So under Angular Online, you can go to Angular folder. Under Angular folder, first app. So this is our project folder for our first Angular web application. You can also verify it from here. Else, you can also say dir. You'll get the directory structure of your current working directory, first app. So first app is created. So simply say cd first app. Change the directory to the first app. Now after that, we have to issue one command here for running our first application. Okay, so here the command, so in the command prompt, you'll have first app as the working directory and simply say ng space serve. So what it will do is, our first app application will be deployed on Node server, and then the Node server will run our first application and display the home page, which is something like index.html. Okay, so once again, I'm going to do this. Okay, so when we run this command, our application, okay, I'll call it as web application, is deployed. Okay, or we can say it is build, and deployed on Node server. Okay, and then next it opens the home page of our web application. So building, deploying on the node server. So node server will also starts automatically. Okay, next it opens the home page from our web application Okay, so here we'll issue this command in the terminal ng serve, but you should be in your working directory of your project first app. Say enter. Right, so it will take some time here for building and then deploying our application on the node server, which is provided for our Angular projects. So would you like to share the anonymous data with your project with the Google team? And simply say yes. So since we are education and training, we can share this data with the Google team for betterment of the future releases. Right, so it will take some time, and then automatically our project will be built. It will be deployed on the server provided by the node, and then it will open the home page automatically. Right. So it is taking some time. Right, so it is compiling. Compiling means building our Angular application. Okay. So these are the different packages or modules which are used for our application, like @Angular, @core, Angular core, animations, commons, platform browsers, okay, HTTP, forms, etc. So all these modules we are going to, or packages, we are going to use it in different topics. So testing module, okay. So it is also showing these are the different packages or modules which are used in our application till here. Right, and it is also building our application. So 50%. Right, so it is compiled successfully. And if you can see here, Angular live development server is listening on host, local host 4200 port number. So open the browser and we have to type this http://localhost, okay, :4200. So this is how it is done. So let us try to open this in the browser. Open the Google browser. Right, now we have to type that manually here, or else it will open automatically in the older versions of Angular 2. So but we'll type it http://localhost:8080, sorry, 4200 is the default port number. So what is this exactly? We'll try to understand this in the future topics. So this first step is running. Right, so this is how our first application is created successfully, and it is running in our Angular live development server using this address http://localhost 4200. So this is how we have to create the Angular application, first app. Right, so that is what is all about this session or video. Environment setup for Angular web application development, project setup, and then creating our first Angular application. Right, guys. So thank you for watching this video and listening to this session. Have a nice day.